my lovelies, welcome back. Today, guys, we're going to be catching back up with Chud's Barbecue with Bradley Robinson, and let's see what Bradley's going to be up to today. So he's getting his preparations in order for St. Patrick's Day, which is very, very nearly here, isn't it, guys? So today's video has been requested by one of my wonderful patrons. This is from David. Thank you, my lovely. David says, well, just look at the calendar. St. Patrick's Day is just about a week away. And it looks like Bradley Robinson at Chud's Barbecue is getting his dinner preparations in order. Of course, he's doing it his own special way. Absolutely. We wouldn't have it any other way, would we, guys? It's got to have that signature Bradley-esque finesse about it. So Bradley is going to be making corned beef brisket. Okay, so I know corned beef is traditionally brisket. It is, isn't it? So it's what? It's salt brine. I still haven't got round to making this yet, guys. I know it's shameful. I've seen Cowboy Kent Rollins make it. I really need to give it a go, especially it's the right time of year. It's nearly St. Patrick's Day. I think I might have run out of time. So it needs to be salt brined. What, for like, is it up to 7 days? And then is it, I mean, I thought, is it not just like kind of roasted? Is it not chucked in the oven? Or is it boiled here? I think Bradley is boiled. He's boiled a brisket. Okay. So maybe I'll copy Bradley. What do you think? It's got to be served with cold cannon as well, like mashed potato with lots of butter and cabbage in it. Massive, massive fan. Or kale. You can put kale in it, can't you? It's absolutely delicious. I'm a big fan of cold cannon. And guys, if you are enjoying these reactions, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, my lovelies. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. That link is over here. And if you would like to help support my channel any further, I have a Patreon account. If you want to check that out at all, that link is in the description below. Okay.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chud's
What
Barbecue.
is up, Bradley?
My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, tender, juicy, red, amazing brisket corned beef. That's right.
What's he serving here with it? Ooh, I'm such a nosy glutton. Let's see. Can you see the fat on top of there? Oh, it looks delicious. Arguably, it might be the best part. I am disgusting. I love the skin on chicken. I love the fat on meat. I am gross. But it is tasty. It's delicious. That looks absolutely amazing. So, is he serving it here? Are they carrots? We've got carrots. I think we've got potatoes there. And is that? It's got to be cabbage. You've got to serve it with cabbage, haven't you?
Folks are taking a beautiful looking brisket, curing it for a week, giving it a quick sear on the charcoal grill, and serving it up with some lovely potatoes, cabbage, carrots, and a few dipping sauces. Coming up.
What's the dipping sauce he's going to do?
This is a brisket.
Sorry for the camera change there, guys. Yes, I had some technical issues with the old laptop. Anyway, right, guys, let's talk about brisket. So I know I've mentioned this a fair few times, but your brisket is slightly different to what we would get over here in the UK. Our cattle are grass-fed to begin with, so they're not grain-fed. They're all grass-fed, but our butchers prepare it in a different way as well. So they kind of roll it up as a joint. Either way, many a mistake has been made in the UK. You know, in all innocence, we want to recreate this delicious looking, amazing food that you guys have. And yeah, it doesn't come out the same. I have tried. We need different preparation of brisket. So I went to my butcher's quite recently and had this conversation with him. And I think he thinks he can prepare one up for me in it's something called the Packer or something, isn't it? Anyway, prepare it a la Americano. So hopefully I'll be able to get hold of one of these soon. But yeah, just, you know, topic of interest. Let's talk brisket.
Pat it dry. And what I've got here is a USDA prime brisket. Picked this up at my local grocery store, weighing in right around 15 pounds. Good looking fat cap, and it does look like it's going to need a fair amount of trimming, but should work out perfectly for what we're doing today. And that's because today we're tackling a classic corned beef. And I honestly thought I'd never see the day where I actually make a corned beef, because the process is you take a brisket, you throw it in a salty brine with pink curing salt in it, and a whole bunch of other aromatics. You let it soak in there for like 5 to 7 days. Then you pull it out and you steam it or boil it or braise it down until it's fully cooked and nice and tender. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know that that process is incredibly close to how to make pastrami. It's the same brine, the same cut of meat. The only differential is instead of throwing the meat on the smoker like you would for a pastrami, you're boiling it. And as a barbecue guy in general, but also here on YouTube, I never thought I'd see the day where I opt for a pot of boiling water when there's a big smoker right behind me. But
I knew this is where Bradley was going with this. He never thought he'd see the day where he broiled or boiled meat because this is barbecue. This is a smoking channel.
That being said, I've never made true corned beef, but with St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, I figured we might as well give it a try and try to throw some fire flavor in along the way at some point. Yeah. But first things first, we gotta get this trimmed up, and I'm gonna trim it up like I would for any other brisket, whether we're making pastrami or just a classic Texas style brisket. And that starts by taking off this big chunk of decal fat on the backside. Get in there, give it a pull. Here it wants to peel out, separates right on the seam. There we go, big chunk of fat, save that for tallow or sausage making or burgers or something. And then we'll go ahead and start cleaning up the silver skin on the backside while tapering down these edges a little bit. Just trying to make it look a little bit more pretty, make it more aerodynamic. You should know how to trim brisket at this point. I should probably count how many times I've trimmed a brisket here on YouTube. Been a lot, but done a lot more in real life. But just like that, backside is looking nice and clean. While I'm back here, I'll probably come and start taking some of this fat down just to give us a nice clean line to work with once we flip it over.
Guys, everything that Bradley can do here with me and the videos that he makes and all of the things that he makes really inspire me. I want to get hold of a meat grinder to make my own sausages. There's so many things I actually want to do. But, you know, finance is pending and all. So I'll get around to it eventually. But yes, I love that he just inspires people to get out of their comfort zone, try something that they've never done before, you know, food-wise.
Just taking down some of this fat because we got a pretty big fat cap on this one. And as always, none of this will go to waste. Yes. Flip it over. Make sure it's sitting nice and flat. Go ahead and scoop out this center fat.
I love that he utilizes all
and knock down this point just a wee bit.
Well.
And by a wee bit, I mean quite a lot. This is a big one. But again, most of that is all fat. Carve some of this out of there. And then we'll start taking down this fat cap a little bit.
He makes it look so easy, doesn't he?
Give it the old chud scrape, clean it up, remove the knife marks, mostly just to make it look pretty. And then we'll start giving this some final shaping and remove this thin part of the lean and round everything off. And just like that, looking absolutely beautiful. Nice trim on this brisket, looking nice and clean on the backside, really good marbling.
Ours does not have marbling like this. I have never. Viewers from the UK, I'm always happy to be proven wrong. I'm open to it, but I have never ever seen any of our cuts of brisket with that kind of marbling. Never. Flip it over, scalped it once or twice, but that's fine. But laying nice and flat, looking aerodynamic. We got some fat, but not too much fat. It should cook up perfectly. But as good as this brisket is looking, I think I'm gonna go ahead and split this in half, kind of right down the middle this way. And that's because it might make brining this a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. And two, I'm not really sure how much corned beef I'm gonna wanna have on hand. So by splitting it up, I can make corned beef out of probably the point side. And then for the lean side, I can throw it on the smoker and get some pastrami that I can then chill down and throw on the meat slicer for some sandwiches or eat it hot or do with it whatever I want. So something right around here and right on through. Beautiful. And if you wanted to, you could have split this right down the fat seam so you had the point muscle and then the lean muscle, but these are going to be a little bit more uniform and a little bit easier to work with and get some good clean slices out of. Although it does pain me to cut a brisket in half like this. But now we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a brine. And to do that, I'm going to start out by throwing this container on a weight, then dropping both pieces of brisket in there and covering them completely with water. That way I know exactly how much water I need to cover these up. And once I have the exact measurement of water I need, which was very close to a gallon, I'm going to take about 1.5 quarts of it and pop it into this pot and bring that up to a simmer. And once nice and toasty, in we go with our salt. I'm going 3% today, followed by 3% brown sugar and 0.25% pink curing salt, number 1. And really, that's all you need for a good cure, because you want the meat to be nice and salty, but not too salty. The sweetness adds a nice balance to all the savory, and brown sugar has that little molasses note in there. And from here, you can really add whatever you want to make it nice and aromatic and nice and flavorful. Classic ingredients include a few bay leaves, a couple of cinnamon sticks, some black peppercorns, mustard seeds, coriander seeds, a couple of star anise, little red. The shape of them, they do look a little bit like a cat. Well, don't know. I can leave out the mustard seed. Is it necessary? You know my feelings about mustard seed, guys. I'm not the biggest fan, but everything else sounds yummy.
A chili flake for some heat, allspice berries, juniper berries if you're feeling fancy, and some cloves. And I'll throw in some garlic as well. We'll get that all mixed up and let this steep for 5-10 minutes to make sure all the flavors are unlocked from the aromatics and all the sugar and salt have dissolved. And essentially I just made my own version of pickling spice. So if you wanted to make this a little bit easier, you could just pick up a jar of some pre-made pickling spice. But it's kind of nice to be able to dial it in to your own flavor profile. Yeah. And after letting all our spices hydrate and steep in this hot water for about 10-15 minutes, back into our intended brining vessel we go. And I got the rest of the way in ice water in here to cool this down so we don't prematurely cook our brisket. And get that all mixed up. Ice should cool everything down, and our brine / cure is good to go. And now in we go with our brisket. Kind of nice having these in smaller pieces because I can use a smaller brining container as opposed to the giant one I usually use when I make pastrami, which takes up most of my fridge. Only problem is these are overlapping a little bit, so I'm gonna have to make sure that I come in, move these around every couple of days or maybe twice a day so we don't get any bald spots where the brine and the cure doesn't penetrate, but they're kind of floating in there, so it should work out pretty well. And how long you let this brine in the fridge is up to you. Typically for a corned beef or a brisket, you're gonna see anywhere from 5 days up to 2 weeks, just to make sure you get brine penetration all the way through the meat. But because we cut this one in half, we're probably more in that 5 to 7 day range. And if you wanted to do it even quicker, you could always bust out the old handy dandy injector and make sure you pump this thing thoroughly all the way through. You can check out my video from last year where I did an overnight pastrami where I just brined it for 1 day and that worked out pretty well. Got that pink color all the way through. The texture did suffer a little bit from not curing for long enough, but in a pinch, gets the job done.
I want the injector that Bradley has here. I've got one, but it is like more of a syringe. His looks a little bit like a kind of like a gun.
For me, I'm probably gonna let this go for about 5 days, and because I got this here, I'll probably send a few pumps right through the meat just to make sure that the cure goes all the way into the meat. We don't end up with a gray banding in the middle, but it might be unnecessary. Oh, I need to get a new injector. So just in the thickest part of the point here, I'm gonna go ahead and pump some of this brine in if I can. There we go. Per usual, I got a little strainer here just to make sure I don't get any mustard seeds clogging up the injector. And I'm just gonna pump this maybe 5-6 times. And after pumping some brine right into the middle of the thickest part of this brisket, lid goes on, and I'm gonna park this in the fridge to cure and build up some lovely flavors. And we'll check back in on this in about 5 days. 6 days later, out of the fridge comes our lovely, now corned, beef. Looking pretty good. I did come through every now and again and kind of switch things around because there's always some meat touching the bottom or touching the sides or touching each other. So I'd move them around to try to get even brine penetration all the way around. Although, truth be told, I did not do it as much as I was hoping I would because I kind of forgot. So we do have some parts that are a little bit pinker than other parts. So hopefully the brine and the cure did its work and made it all the way through. But now out these come, and I'm gonna go give them a quick little rinse to get off all the seeds and berries and any excess brine. Oh, jeez. And just like that, all rinsed off. These are looking absolutely beautiful. Love the red color on there, and they are feeling nice and firm, which is a good indication that the cure has done its job, and it smells good already. And how you cook these from this point is up to you. You know, you could pop these in a vac seal bag and sous vide them for several hours. That would work really well. You could throw a rub on there and put them on the old offset smoker for some pastrami, which is probably what I'm gonna do with this flat portion. Or you could go the traditional route and drop these into a pot of boiling water and simmer them for several hours until they are nice and tender, which is what I'm gonna do. But I do wanna add some smoky flavor to these, so I think I'm gonna sear these off real quick. This will help build up a little bit of crust and add some charcoal flavor. And everything in me wants to put a rub on these, but I don't think it would hold out because we're gonna be cooking this in boiling water, and I think all the rub would just wash away. I think I'm just gonna leave it naked. It's already infused with all the flavor we need, so let's go ahead and fire up the pit.
He's so cheeky. There's always gonna be one or two references to something cheeky in there. Touching each other, they're naked.
I've got the new and improved charcoal grill basket in there with the stainless rods. Very nice. Shout out to Destin from Smarter Every Day here on YouTube. Appreciate you sending me this nifty little grill brush. Very much appreciated. And now I don't need to worry about getting bristles stuck in my throat. Highly recommend it. And now on the grill we go. Just gonna give this a sear, trying to build up some color, maybe render some of the fat down a little bit, and add some lovely smoky flavor to this thing before we drop it into a pot of water. Probably just a couple minutes per side. It's been about 10 minutes on this first side, which is a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but turns out getting a crust on a piece of meat that's been soaking in water for a week is a little bit more difficult than I thought.
Trickier.
But looking pretty good. Now we're gonna do the fat cap side and be real careful because that's probably gonna flare up on us. But judging by the amount of smoke coming off of this thing, it should be imparting some really good flavor, which is good. And just like that, we've got some good browning and some good caramelization all over this thing. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off. And now, into a pot we go. Anything big enough that will fit. Hotel pan would also probably work pretty well. And now we're gonna cover this up with water and some beef stock. This is some homemade beef stock I made with smoked bones, so hopefully we'll add some more lovely flavor. And then we'll go in with some water as well. Just enough to fully submerge this bad boy. And now we're gonna bring this up to a simmer, and while that comes up in temp, we're gonna go ahead and make a little sachet, AKA some cheesecloth, with some more aromatics in there, like some garlic, lightly crushed, 1 cinnamon stick, some coriander seeds, mustard seeds, a couple of bay leaves, and some black peppercorns, just trying to reinforce the same flavors that were in the brine. And
yeah, the mustard seeds can just stay on the side. I know, I sound like such a hater, don't I? Anything but mustard seeds. Or capers, don't like those. Right, okay, guys, quick question. So all of these videos that I'm watching from Bradley Robinson have made me want to, I've already started making all of my stocks, like quite regularly actually. So very heavily inspired by Chud's Barbecue here. Now, the last time I made specifically a beef stock, I think I used the wrong bones. They were very rich in marrow, and you know, that was okay. And it made an excellent beef tallow. But what bones should I be using? Just thought I'd get a cheeky personal question in there, guys. Tell me, which bone should I be using for a beef stock so I can go and ask my butcher?
Putting them in cheesecloth so we don't have to fish all these little seeds out later. But simply enough, now we're gonna just go ahead and get this all tied up. And then in we go. Also gonna go in with a nice big fat pinch of salt at this point as well. And let that come up to a simmer. What has become of this channel? Grilling a brisket with no black pepper on it and then dropping it into a pot of boiling water. Just goes against everything that feels right. But again, I've never actually made a proper corned beef before, so I'm pretty excited to see how this comes out. But everything has come up to a boil, so now lid goes on. And we gotta let this cook away. And you could do that several different ways. You could put this on a really low burner, let it simmer for 6 to 10 hours or something like that. Or you could go the easier hands-off method, which is what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna take this whole pot, lid and everything, stick it in the oven at 275 degrees, which as we know, is the temperature that brisket likes to cook anyway. And then it's completely hands-off. And I'm not quite sure how long this is gonna take. I'm assuming 6 to 8 hours, but it's nice because I don't have to worry about anything. Because it's in the oven, we don't have a direct heat source coming up from the bottom, so I don't need to worry about anything scorching or anything like that. Should have plenty of liquid in there, especially with the lid on, so I don't need to worry about too much evaporation or anything going dry, and it should be a very nice, easy, hands-off brisket cook, which is pretty convenient. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and then I'll see you in probably 6 or 7 hours. And after 6.5 hours of cooking, this corned beef is feeling tender, so out of the oven it comes. And I gotta say, 6 hours for a brisket cook? Not mad about that. But I came through every now and then and I spun this around, flipped it over because it is kind of buoyant in here, just to make sure everything was fully submerged the whole time. But now when I poke it, it is feeling incredibly tender, very much like a properly cooked brisket. Very similar feeling to if you're gonna do a brisket any other style. But it was clocking in around 210, maybe 207 when I pulled it out of the oven, which I pulled out like an hour ago, just to let it kind of cool down in the liquid for a bit. So now it's reading about 175. Which should be good enough. Because whenever you're braising a piece of meat like this, it's always a good idea to let it cool down in the liquid, just so it doesn't steam out immediately and you get to hold on to a little bit more moisture. And now I'm gonna try and fish this thing out without it breaking apart on us, because it is quite tender, but it's got that jiggle factor. Oh. Look at that. Beautiful.
Look at that jelly.
This isn't too tender, although I definitely just lost a chunk. Yeah, a little shreddy. But too tender is better than not tender enough. So I'm gonna cover this up with some foil and let this continue to cool down. Probably pop it in my toaster oven, set it like 150, just to let it rest and cool down a little bit.
Carol?
And while that meat cools down, we've got plenty of time to knock out some classic Irish boiled vegetables to pair with our lovely corned beef. So first things first, I'm gonna get all of our braising liquid back up to a boil. And then in we go with some cabbage, as well as some red potatoes and some carrots. And I'm gonna let this simmer in this pot for probably about 20-25 minutes until everything is nice and tender and absorb some of that lovely beefy corned beef brine. And after simmering away for about 20 minutes, carrots and potatoes are both feeling nice and probe tender. So I'm gonna strain all these out, and I think it's finally time to carve in to that corned beef. Gotta tell you folks, I've cooked a lot of meat in my life and on this channel, but nothing looks quite nearly as weird as a grilled and boiled brisket. But let's go ahead and see how it looks on the inside, shall we? Feeling incredibly soft though. Definitely starting to shred on the bottom too. We'll go ahead and zip off these quasi burn ends here. Oh yeah, that's looking juicy. Definitely looking juicy, good brine penetration, although there is a little bit of a gray band on the bottom there. Nope, that's just fat. Heard. Get a nice thick slice.
Oh
carving it just like any other brisket against the grain. And there you have it, a juicy looking, nice and pink corned beef. Looks incredibly juicy, that's wild. But I suppose that's what happened when you soak a brisket in water for a week and then cook it in water for another 6-7 hours. I gotta be real gentle with this stuff though, because it is falling apart. If this was a regular brisket, I would say it is severely overcooked, but it's corned beef. But it does smell incredible. All in all though, pretty happy with the brine penetration, definitely looking nice and juicy. My only gripe is that bottom side is just annihilated and super shreddy. So we just gotta kind of keep our hands under there. But that looks really good, you know, good fat rendering. Can't really say much for the bark, but good fat cap, and the fat is feeling like jello on top. So I think it's time to finally plate this up. Starting out with a nice shingling of our lovely red looking corned beef, followed by some of our poached carrots. Gotta love a one pot meal. Gotta have some of our potatoes poking around. Starting to smell like Ireland over here, folks.
Now, I do have one criticism. It's not even a criticism, it's just something I would do differently. I want that with cold cannon. Yes, I know I'm banging on about it again. But I love it. I really, really do. Like the little pool of butter that you serve in the top. I just absolutely, it's just gorgeous. It's so, so tasty. So I know maybe if the corned beef is that tender, maybe you're running the risk of, you know, kind of soft textures going on there, nothing with a bit of bite to it. But I would serve it with some cold cannon.
And then in the back here, we'll stick some of our braised down cabbage. And you know what? Braised cabbage, underrated. I used to make it all the time at Leroy and Lewis. Very easy, very simple.
I love cabbage.
And then for good measure, I'm gonna go down with a little bit of flaky salt on the veg, maybe a little bit on the meat too, for oops. And then for some dippers, I got some horseradish, a nice grainy mustard, and then a spicy German mustard.
No. And I was curious about what dipping sauces Bradley was gonna serve with them. You will not find me saying this very often, but I loathe every single one of them. No, thank you. Maybe not. Hard pass. Every 3. I don't even know what sauce I would have with this, but I do not like any of those. Sorry, guys.
For a beautiful corned beef spread. Might have taken a little over a week to get this project done, folks, but now that I'm staring down a big pile of veg and beef, I'm ready to dive on in and see how this came out. The one positive is, once it's all plated up like this, it's a little bit harder to tell that this was just boiled for half a day. But looking nice and tender, eating brisket with a knife and fork.
Oh, look at the
what have I become? Ooh, that fat is so creamy. It just melts. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Got to go back for another bite. It's so delicate and so rich. That is incredibly flavorful. It is interesting eating a brisket without any smoky flavor on there, but at the same time, you know, it's its own thing. And taking a look at the spices, like the cinnamon and the clove and all the garlic and whatnot, it's got a pretty balanced flavor. You know, it's not super punchy, not in your face, nearly as much as pastrami is or something like that. But that is just very pleasant. You know, cold, rainy Sunday, give me a big plate like this. Nothing wrong with that. The texture is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Very pleasant. Let's try with a little mustard, shall we? Oh yeah. A little added sharpness, nice punchy flavor.
I'd only have it if it was American
mustard. So far. Good carrot. It's quite nice being poached in that fatty braised liquid. No complaints there, folks. And it's not St. Patrick's Day unless you eat some sort of potato. It's a good potato. Boiling gets a bad rap, folks. I know I've been anti-boiled brisket for my whole life, but now that I'm staring down a pile of it, not mad about it. That was really.
These are the things that you don't ever mind being wrong about. Like, I will hold my hands up and say, guys, for all of our viewers from the US, I apologize profusely because I was so wrong about banana pudding. I don't know what I thought it was. Maybe just something literally as simple as just bananas and whipped cream, maybe a bit of custard. I can admit when I'm wrong. And it was a tasty lesson.
Really good. That's a great mustard too. I know I probably should have tried to find an Irish mustard, but this German one, found that at H-E-B.
Nope.
Said extra hot, not too hot. Honestly, I was hoping for it to be a little bit hotter, kind of like the one I got from Philippe's a while back from LA. It was like a horseradish mustard, but still, it's a great plate.
Yes.
There's no G on this cup, but we'll call that close enough.
gotta have
Ladies,
Guinness.
Yeah.
can I interest you in some corned beef, cabbage, carrots, and potatoes for my little Irish feast here?
That's the Guinness.
These carrots are
He's got
Smells
Guinness.
like vinegar.
They're horse carrots.
You know what's really funny that you missed earlier is Lauren goes, when is that Cornish beef hen gonna be ready?
A Cornish beef hen, huh?
And I said, or whatever.
Or whatever.
It took us like 30 seconds to figure
Yeah,
out
there was
what
a
I just
delay
said.
to the laughter.
I think Cornish beef might be something different.
I did do a Cornish game hen video
corn beef.
Okay.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's so tender.
My mouth's
Yeah, it's crazy
watering.
tender.
Holy moly.
My mouth is literally watering.
Tender.
Is this an Easter dish?
Kinda. It's usually served more around St. Patrick's Day, but that's
that
March,
makes
right?
sense.
St. Patty?
Yeah, that's true.
That's my mom's name.
Really?
She doesn't like Patty. She likes Patricia because she's evolved.
Yeah, the only problem I'm having with this beef is that it's incredibly tender. Too tender. So it's kind of hard to eat.
I mean, it's kind of like a potato chip. I'm just
love
like,
it.
yum, yum, yum.
Yeah.
There's vegetables. Who cares?
Yep, veggies.
I'll eat
Except
that. Just
the
give me a
potato.
bit. I need to try all the flavors. What?
That cabbage is good.
I haven't had any sort of brisket in a long time.
It is very briskety. Is it the same cut?
Yeah, it's crazy how much different it eats
my
than
gosh.
something like a pastrami or a Texas-style smoked brisket. You know, it's got that
Is there nutmeg or cinnamon in this?
little bit of cinnamon
Dang.
in the brine.
I don't think I've ever had. Is this vinegar?
This does not look like it would
Taste
taste
good.
good at all.
I know.
really
But it's
good.
good.
Yeah,
I don't think I've had. What is this called?
cabbage.
That's
I
Dolly's
don't think I've had
cabbage.
cabbage that I've liked before.
It is an exotic vegetable. We call it cabbage.
So you've mentioned vinegar, I think 3 times now, and I don't
Vinegar.
think there's a single ounce of vinegar in this entire
What?
dish.
Would gin be a closer comparison?
I might have thrown juniper berries in there.
Okay.
We'll have to go read the
What's
recipe.
made
I got it. I
vinegar?
got it. I need.
Good lord,
More
this
sauces.
is delish.
I mean, and then you put all the sauces. Now I have 3 different dips. Oh,
I missed
failed.
I was trying to prove how tender it is, you know.
Oh, right, he's wearing an apron.
Go for some of this chunky
big
mustard.
Oh, we're gonna eat this whole plate.
Chunk
Stop
must.
dropping it.
I can't.
Yes,
It's falling
slob.
apart.
Yes, slob.
That's why I eat outside.
Carrot's good. Cabbage better.
Right, the cabbage. It's the grossest looking thing I think I've
It
ever
is
put
the
on
best thing
camera.
on the plate.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I
I mean, minus
hate
the
doing
meat, but
I mean,
It's hard to make cabbage look sexy.
I slipped that in again. Oh my god! I thought that was you.
P.U. Are you guys noticing how like creamy the fat is in this thing?
yeah.
It's so much different than like traditional barbecue where it's
Oh, yeah.
rendered, but this is more gelatinous almost.
I don't get why I'm enjoying this so much.
Because it was cooked with love.
No.
I think because I've had so much brisket that I'm like, brisket. But this is not brisket, but it's a friend of brisket.
It is.
Is that a thing? I don't think I'd ever in my life, ever get to the point where I was like, brisket. Never. Unless it was British brisket, and then, like if someone said, I've just done a roast dinner. Oh, what meat have you done? Brisket. Okay.
The flavor is so good, but it's not sitting heavy like a barbecue
Yeah,
brisket
that's very
does.
true. I've eaten a lot more
Yeah,
of this
that's-
already than I would have. Because this is just fatty brisket, too.
Yeah.
I can't believe we just ate a whole head of cabbage.
One more Cornish hen
More
bite.
cabbage.
And with all the leftover corned beef, we can make some corned beef hash in the morning.
Done.
Honestly, that is...
I need to stop. I can't stop eating it.
It's a fantastic meal, you know? It's meat, potatoes, veggies, cabbage.
You stop eating and you're like, yeah, I could have one more.
Well, I guess just add it to the list of things I'm going to make again because
Yeah.
that was very pleasant.
Okay.
Keep it coming.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right, bye.
And with this very last bite of corned beef, I think it's time for the official taste test. Ooh, so tender she left some behind.
Oh.
All right, Charlie, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic scratch-made corned beef. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, I think I've made it pretty clear at this point that came out a lot better than I was expecting it to, and my preconceived notions that boiling a brisket is a bad idea was, in fact, incorrect. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a lot more fun to use a smoker than a big pot of water, but when you factor in the point that this was a 6-hour cook, completely hands-off in the oven, and the fact that you're left with some really tasty braising liquid, which makes for some incredibly quick and delicious vegetable sides, I think this this method really does have a place in my roster, and definitely something I'll be doing again, because the texture of that meat was just unlike any brisket I've ever had before. And maybe there is a hybrid method where we smoke it for a few hours and then finish it in the boil, but that is an experiment for another day. But please let me know your thoughts down below on corned beef versus pastrami and everything I did here on a barbecue channel, boiling a brisket. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button, let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chud's Barbecue. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.
Yum, 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 yum. Oh, that looks so, so delicious. It's not overly complicated. I mean, it's a little bit time consuming because, you know, it's a bit methodical, and you know, it takes a while for the brine in solution to take action. And yeah, okay, yes, I think I've run out of time. We're on Friday the 13th now. Happy Friday the 13th. And St. Patrick's Day it's next Tuesday, isn't it? So we've got 4 days. I don't think I've got enough time. I'm gonna have to try it at some point, guys. It looks far too tasty. It looks too good. It's too delicious. I'm gonna have to try it. Proper corned beef, because like I've said, the corned beef that you say corned beef over here, it comes in a tin. And while I don't dislike it, don't get me wrong, I am partial to a corned beef sandwich. It's not fancy corned beef. It's not proper corned beef. It's tinned, it's drier. I mean, it's still good, but yeah, it's not the same at all. But I'm gonna have to give it a try. So thank you so much, David, for requesting this video. So this is two YouTuber chefs that I've seen making their own corned beef. So I'm gonna have to try it. I have to get myself down to the butcher's and make sure we get a proper prepared a la Americano brisket. I'll let you know how that works out. Guys, take care of yourselves. And I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.